Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan with your weather video for Wednesday, the 31st of August, the last day of winter on the meteorological calendar anyway. And we are seeing a spring-like weather pattern already kick in, and we define that by plenty of warm days and windy westerlies coming through. And that's certainly what we're seeing despite a wintry blast coming through this coming weekend and early next week for the lower part of the South Island. And I'm laughing a little bit because I got mocked by a farmer yesterday for saying this is called the Weather Watch version of spring. But I stand by it because spring is not summer. Spring is not settled and warm. Spring is all about winter slowly fading away and hints of summer slowly coming in. And that's exactly what we're starting to see at the moment around the New Zealand and Australia areas right now. So on the wind map, we've got this high pressure zone moving out to the east. That's encouraging a light southeasterly flow at the top of the country. That's the reason why Auckland is so sunny at the moment after what was an incredibly gloomy week last week. The sun is now out. And in the South Island, your positive news before the cold change is that you've got some warmer than average weather coming through as the nor'westers and northerlies start to kick on in. So a couple of days that'll be a little bit warmer and then the colder stuff arrives. And the windy weather down in the Southern Ocean carries on. It is still just brushing Tasmania, Bass Strait, some coastal areas around Victoria. Otherwise, fairly settled across Australia, with the main feature being the easterlies and the showers around Alice Springs. Temperatures are more than 8 degrees below average on Thursday in that part of the world. Let's have a look at rainfall for the next 3 days coming up. The biggest rainfall totals on the west coast, where thankfully you can handle it usually. Rainfall totals though are quite steep. They're up around the 200 to 250 millimetre mark. Now over 3 days, hopefully most of that will drain away, but that's certainly getting up there to the point where there might be some slips and flooding on the west coast. The good news is for the areas that have just had a fair bit of flooding and slips, your rainfall totals are far lower. And as always, go to rural weather and weatherwatch.co.nz to drill down with your hyper-local rainfall totals. Let's take a look at snowfall. There is a bit of snow on the way as well, around about 30 centimetres for the mountaintops over the next few days, and only lighter falls elsewhere. So here's the forecast for Thursday, the first day of September, and it'll be warmer for the South Island as that north to northwesterly wind comes in, but the rain clouds then start to line up on the west coast. The North Island mostly settled and calm, bit of a cold night tonight and a cool start to the day, but then fairly settled after that. You can see the reason why just north of Alice Springs the temperatures are down. It's raining. So they've got rain through the central interior of Aussie, high pressure to the south. That's the reason why you're seeing those easterlies up there to the north, and a bit of a cooler change coming through for Adelaide and Melbourne and Hobart all about the same time. In comes the southerly on Thursday. Now on Friday the southerly kind of fades out, high pressure rolling in, so that wet weather gets pushed further to the east. On the New Zealand side, not a lot of change, but the rain just slowly moves up the west coast, and the winds and around the North Island just pick up a little bit. Again, it's nothing too significant, but that's how we're looking as we go towards the very end of the week. Now on the weekend, Saturday sees a bit of a change for the North Island. Windier weather coming through. There might even be gale force winds around Cook Strait. And we'll see those rain bands and showers moving up in towards Taranaki and then Waitomo and King Country, and later on into parts of Waikato and Auckland. Won't be a huge amount of wet weather coming through, that front falling apart as it moves northwards. But the next main feature, the cold air coming in to southern New Zealand. So the big high in Australia is working with low pressure down here, a storm, and this is the main area of energy in between the two. So next week looks like this. A little bit dramatic on the weather maps. Hopefully not many of you are taking a cruise down in the Southern Ocean, so you're probably all right. But this is a big storm, 937, and nearly 100 hectopascals further up, we've got high pressure. So the squash zone smack bang in the middle, that's around about this zone here, and the angle of it, slightly southwesterly, that's a good thing, because it means that, well, it depends on how you look at it. If you're a farmer and you're in the middle of lambing, it's a good thing. If you love snow, it's not a good thing. What it does is it pushes the snow further into the southwestern corner. So the mountains and the ranges here block Canterbury, most of Otago, and a lot of the North Island from getting any snow. So that's really good for the farmers and the growers. Not so good, as I say, if you want to build a snowman. This is a big high stretching north to south. That's the perfect recipe for a snowstorm in New Zealand when that's out here. But it's just a little bit further to the west, which means the bulk of the cold weather is also out to the west. Fiordland would be one of the coldest and wettest places to be for the start of next week. And then later through next week, we've got this low pressure system up here, which will drift past northern New Zealand. So there is a lot going on. It will be a bit colder for a few days, but it will be short-lived as well. We do expect that high pressure to roll through. And our Climate Watch update for the month of September, and also looking at the months of spring, is also out today. And that's also going to be talking about the long-term rainfall and temperature trends around New Zealand and also Australia. That is all from me for today. We'll see you again tomorrow with our next update.